Autism is a growing problem across the country and right here in Northwest Arkansas.
That's right. KNWA's J.R. Davis takes a very close look right now at the disorder with part 2 of a month-long series. J.R.?
Guys, listen to these statistics. Centers for Disease Control estimates 1 out of every 110 children will be diagnosed with autism. The rate even higher for boys, 1 in every 70. These numbers represent staggering 57% increase from 2002 to 2006. Now, last week we showed you a day in the life of a family raising a child with autism, and now every family is different, and yes, every child is unique. However, many of the troubles facing families living with autism are universal.
Actually, just getting him in the front door is a big struggle sometimes.
With the girls, the same thing, getting my youngest one to school and picking her up. The bus driver spent an hour with me just getting her onto the bus.
If he has a meltdown and he's telling you in an angry voice, or he's telling you words that are not typical kind of words that you should use in a classroom, my son is venting to you that way. He is communicating, but it's going to be that he's being disrespectful to his teacher, he's talking back.
And we're told that we need to start disciplining our children more, when in fact they are, like she said, venting because his disability isn't allowing him to use any other words at that particular moment.
All right, let's go ahead and move into the education arena. We'll start with you, Tracy. What would you like to see as a parent done differently, and what are some of the problems you're seeing?
Sometimes I wonder if it's a funding issue with education, that if there was more money available to have more assistants in the classroom, if there was time for more training and different things, if they could focus in on such a need like this, it would make a difference, because autism involves everyone, from the superintendent all the way down to a cafeteria worker.
Okay, you guys pretty much talk about how this involves everybody from the top to the bottom. What have you guys done to maybe get that message across from your kid to his peers and teachers?
My wife has made a brochure about my son, and she's actually taken that brochure and passed it out to every single kid in his classroom.
Just this last month, he was invited to, I guess, the first sleepover kind of birthday party of a class. When I picked him up the next morning, they said he was great, you know, that he kind of was going to have a little bit of upset, you know, a little meltdown. The mother knew about it, and she just kind of changed plans, and the kids were great with it, and it was wonderful. And it's because I've gone into a classroom and I've talked to kids, they have become more aware and they're just open to it. So
now, you guys know it better than anybody, but obviously autism treatment isn't cheap. A lot of families go into debt. Let's talk about that for a second. Teresa?
Our family did go into debt providing therapy for our son, because you feel like you have to give him every opportunity at success, and you know, you don't want to have any regrets.
There's so many more therapies that my son could be, you know, involved in that would, you know, help him out a lot more, you know, but
can't afford it.
Can't afford that.
All right, Greg, I want to start with you on this one. For you as a parent, how hard was it the first time you heard that Ian had autism?
When he was 2, we had a physician, a very good physician, tell us that he was unlikely to participate in society, which was, you know, obviously a heartbreaking type of a thing. I never did actually believe that. I had a heart that said something different than that.
Yes.
Just ask him his name so he stops saying, excuse me.
What's your name? Ian. Hey Ian, how are you, buddy?
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to this next question. Let's talk a little bit about divorce. Obviously, any relationship takes work, but parenting a special needs child, there's a lot of stress there. I'll start with you, B.
Some marriages stay together, but a lot of marriages do end in a divorce because of a special needs child. And so I'm a single parent, disabled with their disabilities, and it makes it very difficult. It's a day-to-day struggle.
Sometimes you just have to grab what you can while you can. A hug in the kitchen.
You know, when our child was young, we just isolated ourselves. We didn't know what to do. There was not anybody out there we could reach out to. But we're telling you, there are people there that, just like us, that can help you and give you that support, give you ideas.
We talked a lot about the struggles and the hardships of being a parent with a child with autism. But you know, you guys talked to me earlier. It's also kind of a neat experience just to be able to go through with these kids what they go through.
He doesn't know how to be manipulative. Yes. He doesn't know how to lie. So he just says it as it is, and I look at him and I think, oh, that's exactly what I would want to say.
Mm-hmm. I even had a teenage girl in our youth group at church one night was talking about how sweet Caleb was and how special he was, you know, just being an autistic child. And she said, I would not necessarily ever wish to have a child with disabilities, but when I do grow up and have a kid, I want a kid like Caleb. You know, and that really, that really touched my heart.
Little Ian here has been on a horse for several years. He can command a 2-ton horse, you know, and that's an amazing thing, right? To see a 3-year-old on an animal like that and have peace on that animal. They can do a lot more than a lot of people think.
Those things are amazing, and then there's so many things that you can't do that really are just heartfelt.
You can wash your hands. Sometimes it becomes so much about what we can give them, but they actually do have something to offer, and if anybody's lives can be touched by one of these kids, you become a different person.
Now, these are just a few of the resources right here in our area, and we've got the full list on our website at nwahomepage.com, as well as an extended interview with these parents, but you got a little bit right there. Now, obviously, these families would love to see something done on a legislative level here in Arkansas. Next Thursday, I'm heading to the Capitol to speak to a state representative about the issues at hand, as well as what he'd like to see happen with autism statewide, from his perspective as a politician and as a parent whose child is autistic. Guys?
That should be very interesting. A great report you just did. Stories like that really raise awareness and let everybody else know that there are others just like them out in the community.
Make a difference.
Thank you, JR.